Continuing from the previous episode 2045. Good guy, it is said that the Titan mammoth is an extremely rare species among the beasts. It is not only powerful, but also has no restraint. Under 1 foot, almost no one can survive. Ordinary Titan mammoths at the early stage of the 7-star fighting immortal stage are enough to compete with some early stage 8-star fighting immortal level humans, and this guy's strength has reached the rare 7th grade fairy rank, which is comparable to the late-stage human beings of the 7-star fighting immortal stage. Even some middle and late-stage powerhouses of the 8-star Do Xian can only choose to retreat. Xiao Yan's body moved rapidly, instantly vacated, and whispered quietly. After Xiao Yan's body left the Titan mammoth and occupied the sky, Xiao Yan just realized that this guy is simply a heavyweight creature. I am afraid that its body alone occupies half of this small world. However, Xiao Yan was also puzzled. With such a huge body, this guy naturally hindered his movement. How could this guy be called the Taishan Beidou of the World of Warcraft? Boom! The Titan mammoth seemed to have just woken up, full of resentment, and its huge pupils looked at Xiao Yan, as if they were extremely interested. Soon, the doubt in Xiao Yan's heart was shattered by the Titan mammoth. Crack! With a sound, the Titan mammoth raised its forefoot and slapped it towards the void where Xiao Yan was, and a harsh sound of space explosion emerged. No, what kind of power is this? Before Xiao Yan had time to prepare, he suddenly felt that a dark shadow appeared above his head. It was an incomparably huge foot, but no matter how hard Xiao Yan struggled, he seemed unable to move, and even all the power in his body was shrouded in the black shadow of this huge foot, and instantly failed. Will this be too strict? After all, he was able to successfully refine the medicinal pills, and he already has the qualifications to succeed in the assessment. The Titan mammoth is one of the guardian beasts of our medicine clan. Feng Lao hid in the small world space and looked at Xiao Yan like this, couldn't help but said. Tear it! With a sound, the void under Xiao Yan's feet squirmed, and at the critical moment, the space shuttle handprint came out, so he escaped the terrifying blow of the Titan mammoth without any risk. Otherwise, if he was trampled like this, I am afraid that he will get flesh and blood. Be vague. This guy doesn't look like any spiritual body, but more like a real magical beast kept in captivity. Could this be the masterpiece of the Yao family? Xiao Yan just fled away, and when Du appeared, his eyes couldn't help but become deep. A creature like the Titan mammoth is definitely not something that ordinary human forces can possess. I am afraid that only a giant race like the Yao family is qualified to keep it in captivity. Ho ho ho! The Titan mammoth didn't care about this. It had just woken up and obviously had a lot of temper. It was about to trample Xiao Yan to death, but found that Xiao Yan had escaped his attack. The child, with his elephant trunk entrenched high, his chubby body trembled and moved towards Xiao Yan. Dragon God transformation. At this moment, Xiao Yan didn't hold back. His whole body energy boiled, and the Dragon God's first transformation, second transformation and third transformation were displayed together, inspiring his physical strength to the limit. In addition to the tempering of the 7 profound demonic thunder just now, on Xiao Yan's body, there were traces of extremely dull golden lines hidden under the flesh and blood. In addition, the traces of thunder were also beating slowly, which seemed to be out of Xiao Yan's part. Tyrannical. Dong dong dong. After approaching Xiao Yan for some distance, the Titan mammoth waved its front toes again, like a terrifying Titan fist. Heaven and earth, shake heaven and earth. Tear it off. Scales of tyrant. Seeing such a terrifying punch from the Titan mammoth, Xiao Yan could no longer contain his frenzy. On his arms, the blue scales of tyrants flashed with unusually ferocious and thick power, and his palms clenched tightly. Grip, and also form a giant cyan fist wrapped by the scales of the tyrant, attacking directly at the fist of the Titan mammoth. What? This guy actually wants to hold the Titan fist of the Titan mammoth? Even if this guy has a good body refining technique, the power of a Titan mammoth is not comparable to that of an ordinary human. At this moment, Feng Lao's eyes looked extremely solemn. She would not stop Xiao Yan, but once Xiao Yan was defeated, she would immediately take action. Boom! The two fists bombarded each other, and suddenly countless voids in the entire small world sounded like glass shattering, and time and space cracks scattered uncontrollably. Zoo! With a sound, the double fist attack fell. Countless energy ripples scattered everywhere, and the end was a draw. The giant body of the Titan mammoth took a few dozen steps back slightly, and Xiao Yan's body was suddenly thrown from the sky by this wave. Hot explosion. Xiao Yan sneered, the speed skyrocketed, and the gorgeous flame was like a treasure, blessing on Xiao Yan's footsteps. After the blink of an eye, Xiao Yan's figure appeared, and he had arrived at the trunk of the Titan mammoth's predecessor. Wing Om. The blow just now made the Titan mammoth really pay attention to Xiao Yan, and immediately felt Xiao Yan's aura. His body shook violently, and a heavy aura like a 9-day star and moon pressed down on Xiao Yan. Ouch! Being suppressed by such a terrifying force, Xiao Yan's body suddenly dropped, and the giant mammoth's mouth opened slightly, as if mocking Xiao Yan for how dare a small ant like Xiao Yan dare to provoke its supremacy as the overlord of the world of Warcraft. Boom! The next moment the Titan mammoth didn't hesitate, raising both feet at the same time, taking advantage of Xiao Yan's current trap, trying to kill him with one hit. It's you who's waiting, the Fist of Domination. Looking at this scene, 1 second before the black shadow of the giant footsteps enveloped Xiao Yan, the cyan above Xiao Yan's arm flourished, and an illusory shadow of domination enveloped his fist, which looked extremely solid and heavy. With the addition of a dragon roar that pierced through the heavens and the earth, it suddenly appeared, and the heaven and earth paled in an instant. Hee, little guy, this second level is considered a perfect pass for you. Just when Xiao Yan started, Feng Lao's body just emerged, and a mysterious power instantly teleported the Titan mammoth away from here. Boom! In an instant, Xiao Yan's attack hit the void of the small world, and the sound of shattering and breaking continued to emerge, and the entire space exploded in an instant. Thank you, Senior. Xiao Yan heard the words, and also put away all his strength, and said with a slight smile. The third transformation of the Dragon God transformation, the pattern of dominance, as Xiao Yan became more and more proficient, he was able to completely bless one of his arms with the force of the pattern of dominance. A punch of that level might be enough to forcefully kill a real person. The 8-star fighting immortal, but to deal with the Titan mammoth just now, at most, it will cause some serious damage. As for obliteration, it is too illusory. After all, the power of the Titan mammoth is obvious to all human beings, and Xiao Yan is also quite surprised by the mysterious atmosphere of the Titan mammoth's Titan divine fist and even the feet of the giant elephant, which can obviously be hailed as a giant in the world of Warcraft. Bah, still has its pride. However, at this time, Xiao Yan, who had succeeded in the assessment, naturally had no other thoughts to think about. Continuing from the previous episode 2046. Hoo, let's go. This space was blasted open by you with one punch, and I can no longer stay here. Otherwise, once I get involved in the turbulent flow of time and space, even I can't face it. But I have to congratulate you. You have succeeded in assessing the 6th rank Heavenly Alchemist of the Immortal rank. Feng Lao's voice burst into bursts of pride, and with a big wave of his hand, he left here with Xiao Yan and headed for the original area. It was only about 20 days after entering the small world this time. In addition to the special existence of the small world, it took less than a stick of incense to pass in the outside world. And when Xiao Yan returned, some other things happened outside. Zuner and Yaoshigui were sitting in the hall where they sat quietly, waiting for Xiao Yan to return. Not long after, the door was abruptly pushed open by 2 figures. The people who came were 2 men. The 2 men were quite handsome, but they didn't have any the reception of the medicine people, with a proud and unruly looking down attitude, is like an invisible existence of superiority. Brother, look, the woman Lu Hao said is the one in front of you? One of the men looked around and found Zuner first. Lu Hao's instructions could not help but emerge in his mind. Yaoshigui sect can also be regarded as the top forces in the entire Douyin continent except the 7 ancient clans. This time the Medicine Clan Festival, I need you to pay close attention to one person for me. Xiyue Zuner, the saint of the ancient clan, she is hidden in the snow of the ancient clan, and almost no one outsiders knows about her. I will show her portrait to the 2 of you to check, and remember to report her every move to me. After the Medicinal Clan Festival is over, our Holy See will personally give them a big gift. These are small gifts, you can use them in the Medicinal Clan Festival, and it will have a multiplier effect. Lu Hao's words are mysterious, but the 2 brothers can only choose to believe it. After all, he wants to surpass the 7 ancient clans in the sect, and he cannot do without the help of the Holy See. These two, the elder is Xiyue, and the second is Shen Hong, who are the strongest of the younger generation of Xiyue sect. Moreover, the upper plane, the demarcation of the younger generation is rather vague, almost within 100 years old. After all, even a strong Do Di has a very long life. If there is no limit of life and death, it is extremely difficult to fall. On Shen Hong's chest, a dazzling alchemist medal slowly flickered. Looking closely, a huge immortal character appeared, and 5 gold stars were surrounding him. Below the gold stars, there were 3 silver stars. Flickering abnormally, the alchemist at the pinnacle of immortal rank 5th grade heaven rank. This beautiful young lady, Shen Hong, was quite elegant, pacing gently towards Zuner like a gentleman, with a soft voice. In his eyes, today's Zuner is graceful and graceful, with 3,000 blue silk swaying freely, dancing gracefully like a butterfly elf, with an indescribable immortal temperament. With such a shy fish and geese, and the shyness of the closed moon, coupled with the almost perfect jade-like immortal temperament, Shen Hong seemed to know why Lu Hao was brooding about him. "Let's go. Brother Xiaoyan should be out soon." Zuner didn't move, she just ignored Shen Hong's words and turned her eyes slightly, watching a stick of incense on the incense table beside the time is about to end, immediately stood up and walked back to the door with the medicine stone. The graceful body attracted countless human beings. "This stinky bitch, you're actually doing this to me? I hope it doesn't fall into my hands, otherwise." Seeing this guy look like this, a trace of anger appeared in Shen Hong's eyes. He is a dignified immortal rank 5th grade heaven-ranked peak powerhouse, and has a lofty position in the Xiyue sect. Countless women have embraced him, and it is their blessing to be able to be seen by him. How can there be such an ignorant person? Woman? Boom! Pa-pa-pa! Just when the violent and evil thoughts in Shen Hong's heart just started, a man in a black shirt suddenly appeared here, and then a loud slap print accompanied by bursts of hot stinging pain, stayed in Shen Hong on Hong's cheek. All of this happened between the light and the flint, causing Shen Hong and Shen Yu to have no response, and the red slap print appeared. "Who is it? Get out of here!" Feeling this inexplicable attack and humiliation, Shen Hong was furious and couldn't help but get angry. The incomparably fierce Fairyland soul power and his power in the early stage of the 7-star fighting immortals were undoubtedly on display. Next time something like this happens, it won't be such a simple lesson. Next time I will kill you with my own hands, refining your soul into a puppet, and suffering from horrible torment every day. Stay away from her. A terrifying breath of terror was accompanied by an extremely cold killing intention, slowly radiated from the man in the black shirt in the hall. "Who are you to dare to treat me like this? I am a dignified immortal." Gulu. Shen Hong's eyes froze, trying to resist Xiaoyan's attack and murderous aura, but when he saw the medal on Xiaoyan's chest, he lost his voice. A 6th grade immortal rank peak alchemist? Wait, that giant elephant? How is that possible? At this moment, a rare shock emerged in Shen Hong's heart. As a pharmacist, he is very familiar with the kind of metal on Xiaoyan's body. That is clearly a pharmacist at the pinnacle of the 6th grade immortal rank. And that giant elephant must be the product of successfully going through *** mode. The alchemist who can successfully pass through the *** mode is a monster with alchemy skills and combat power. I hope you don't do some stupid things, or you will just kill the 8 stars. You guys seem to have some familiar aura. Tell that guy for me, don't beat my wife's attention, otherwise I will definitely make him regret it later. Yu Yin curled up, and Xiaoyan's figure also moved towards the outside world. This guy. Listening to Xiaoyan's series of words, Shen Hong and Shen Yi also shook their heads at the same time. He and Lu Hao should have something to do with each other. Although we need the support of the Holy See, there is no need to fight against such a strong man. You should restrain your arrogance and anger, otherwise it will bring a devastating blow to our sect. Elder Shen Yi also noticed some other things from Xiaoyan's stern warning just now, and immediately ordered road. Yes. At this moment, Shen Hong did not refute, and was surprisingly quiet. This is not like your usual you. Never mind. Let's go, I'll take you to assess the 6th rank immortal rank. As for success, it's up to you. Shen Yi shook his head and said without thinking too much. Okay. Shen Hong nodded, but he has been in a high position for a long time. It was the first time that Xiaoyan was so intimidated and humiliated. The seeds of resentment had already been planted in his heart, and Lu Hao secretly gave Shen Hong a lot of treasures. The catastrophe, I'm afraid, also has a lot to do with this narrow-minded Shen Hong. The power of the Medicine Clan and the Holy See are like fire and water. The Holy See is not welcome here at all, and it is impossible to let the powerful people of the Holy See enter the Yunling Mountains. That was the catastrophe that belonged to Xiaoyan. Catastrophe or rebirth, still unknown. Continuing from the previous episode 2047. Brother Xiaoyan, are you alright? After a few minutes, Zuner and Xiaoyan joined forces smoothly, and Zuner also changed from the indifferent appearance just now to be like an active elf beside Xiaoyan. Even watching when he arrived at the Medal of Alchemist on Xiaoyan's chest, his face was full of smiles. Why is this fairy sister so different before and after? Yaoshigui looked at Zuner like this and couldn't help but pouted and said, but if he knew what happened to Shen Hong and Shen Hong just now, he might have a different look. Let's go back to the residence first. In a few days, there will be a rare auction event in Yaoying City. It will be the last warm-up before the Yaozu festival. Let's go shopping. Xiaoyan smiled casually, and the three of them immediately joined the group. He slowly left the Alchemist Association and headed towards the mansion under the leadership of Yaoshigui. However, Xiaoyan had just left the front foot, and the story of his back foot was passed back to the ears of the high-level Yao clan by Feng Lao, and could not help but caused a burst of sighs, but it was because Xiaoyan was unknown, and now the Yao clan was nervous to prepare for the medicinal clan grand ceremony. Naturally, there was no time or extra strength to come and talk to Xiaoyan. What's more, Lu Hao has already brought an extremely terrifying force in the Holy See, and divided into two teams. One team personally killed all the remains of the Soul Palace, and the other team came here, although they were because of the medicine. The clan had some connections and could not enter the Yunling Mountains, but the huge Yunling Mountains had already been surrounded by them, and with the addition of Shen Hong from the Xiyue sect as an inner response, Lu Hao was not in a hurry, because the rest was just time. The problem: Xiaoyan's residence in Medicine King City. Originally, Xiaoyan and the three of them headed towards the assigned residence under the leadership of Yaoshigui. After Xiaoyan showed the Medal of Alchemist, the three of them were assigned a mansion with an area of 100 meters. All kinds of materials were readily available. There are still a lot of maids waiting on him. This kind of handwriting can be said to be envious of others, but after watching it, outsiders can only secretly smack their tongues. After all, the identity of the 6th grade alchemist of the immortal rank is enough to shock most of the powerhouses. There are still 5 days before the auction starts. Xiaoyan has been preparing the funds for the auction these days. After all, you don't have to think about it. The items auctioned in the Yaozu auction are absolutely unparalleled, so the funds needed it is no longer as simple as the number of gold coins, and many things are carried out at the price of barter. However, after some searching, Xiaoyan couldn't help but his eyes darkened. Obviously, there were very few things that he could get his hands on, so he was ready to take a look at it. This young man is quite smart, which makes Zuner quite doting, and because Xiaoyan and Zuner love so much, Yaoshigui can also feel that the two are kind to him from the bottom of his heart, so some little secrets in his heart are slowly surfaced. The third night. Brother Xiaoyan, I don't see any changes in Yaoshigui's body in the past 3 days. Could it be that you are worrying too much? Zuner hasn't bothered Xiaoyan too much these past few days, and since moving in here, Xiaoyan has instructed Yaoshigui to take stricter care of him. It seems that this young man makes Xiaoyan quite worried. I carefully investigated the Emperor Yan ring to no avail, but I think this guy has a lot of secrets in his body. We can't wait until the day he becomes an adult. I'm worried that something will happen, so we must let him devour that pill in advance. Xiaoyan said, but will there be any sequelae in that way? Zuner also wondered. No. Find a time today or tomorrow. Xiaoyan said. Dong, dong, dong. Before Xiaoyan could finish his words, there was a knock on the door. Yes. As the knock on the door sounded, Xiaoyan and Zuner looked at each other, and fierce killing intent emerged. Although this is the Yaowangcheng, there is no guarantee that some ignorant people will secretly shoot. Big brother, sister fairy, it's me. Yaoshigui outside the door looked extremely ugly, his face was pale and weak, and drops of cold sweat kept emerging, and even the corners of his mouth became ice purple. What's the matter? Xiaoyan pushed open the door and saw Yaoshigui's situation. He couldn't help frowning. He immediately grabbed his wrist and sent in a steady stream of fighting chi. In addition, the power of his soul emerged. The abnormality of medicine stone returning to the body. However, Xiao Yan's vindictive energy did not resolve the situation of the medicine stone returning to his body, but aggravated it, and the search for his soul power was fruitless. Big brother, sister fairy, I have an old problem. Let's go, I'll take you to a place. Yaoshigui was trembling all over, and barely squeezed out a few words. Let's go. Xiao Yan and Zuner looked at each other, and immediately they supported Yaoshigui and slowly left the mansion. They poured into a deserted street, and immediately left Yaowing City through a very hidden secret passage. This secret passage is extremely narrow, and looking at the secret passage without cobwebs, it is obvious that there are traces of many years, and according to Xiao Yan's investigation, it seems that there is a faint breath of Yaoshigui in the secret passage. But other than that, there is no other aura. This secret passage should be known to Yaoshigui. Where is this? After about an hour, Xiao Yan and the two left Yaowing City under the leadership of Yaoshigui, and came to a rather strange place. Just after leaving the dark passage, what appeared in the sight of the two of them was a mountain top. The top of the mountain was surrounded by clouds and mist. A bronze statue slowly stood on it. The bronze statue was like an old man refining medicine. Yu reading www. Yukanshu. Com's eyes and all attention were focused on a medicine tripod not far from the bronze statue. And around the bronze statue and the rock-shaped medicine cauldron, an ancient green ripple is like a formation, which is perfectly hidden and shrouded, with a very ancient and long-lasting aura. This is, what place? Xiao Yan couldn't help muttering. Big brother, sister fairy, this is a certain peak in the Yunling Mountains. As for what is in front of me, I don't know, but there is always a voice in my mind calling me to come here. Yaoshigui's body was still ill, and he slowly uttered a few words. Go in. Xiao Yan looked around, and immediately determined that there was no suspicious person. He brought Yaoshigui and Zuner with him and stepped into the mountain top and the flat ground in one fell swoop. As soon as he stepped into this place, the situation of Yaoshigui suddenly improved. At the same time, a rare green energy in his body slowly overflowed, and immediately poured into the bronze statue not far away. This is a hidden mountain top in the Yunling Mountains. The top of the mountain touches several hundred meters of flat ground, but the bronze statue and the green medicine tripod reveal endless mystery. It is completely isolated from the outside world by a terrifying formation. Come on, just the rare life force in the air here is full of vitality, and it is shocking to hear it. Genius remembers the address of this site in 1 second. Mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2048. Here, it seems to be a bit like the graveyard of some powerful people in the medicine clan. But every powerhouse in the ancient race will be sent to their own tombs by the powerhouses in the ancient race after they fall, and there is no chance to survive in the outside world. It's really strange. Slim, and the surrounding green energy is also quite sacred, and the beautiful eyes are constantly turning, looking at this mountain top covered by the formation, and muttered. This is a secret place that only I know. I have been frail and ill since I was a child, but no matter what illness I have, as long as I come here, I will be able to cure it. And there's always a lingering voice in my mind telling me that the secret is probably hidden in the bronze statue and the medicine cauldron. Unfortunately, my strength is too weak to open it at all. Big brother, sister fairy, please help me. Yaoshigui's eyes earned the boss, and he finally revealed the secret that he had been hiding in his heart. During these few days, Yaoshigui was also with the two of them. I found a trace of a long-lost relative feeling on my body, so I told the little secret that was in my heart. Don't worry, elder sister and elder brother will help you, Zuner said with a slight concern. Go back a little bit, I'll take a look. Xiao Yan stared at the bronze statue in front of him, and then walked over step by step. When I came to the bronze statue just now, I didn't find anything. The whole body of the bronze statue was carved naturally, and I couldn't detect any flaws at all. Boom! With a sound, Xiao Yan's whole body ignited with an amber flame, which easily covered the bronze statue. Pimples. At that time, the copper statue that had been quiet all the time suddenly trembled, and the pieces of copper slowly shattered and fell off. Kacha! With a sound, the bronze statue shattered, and a dark passage appeared at the foot of the broken bronze statue. I don't know where it leads, but there is another mystery. This is exactly the same as the dream I had. Follow me. At this moment, Yaoshigui seemed to have remembered something, and was quite surprised, and then his figure jumped into the dark passage. The scene in front of him was exactly the same as the dream he often dreamed of in the past, but the dream was extremely vague, and there was no record of the secret passage under the bronze statue, so Yaoshi was so anxious to return. Yaoshigui didn't believe that both his parents died. He always felt that there might be another mystery in the matter, and the secret should be hidden below. He lost his inch for a while, and shot directly at it. Follow up, be careful of the danger below. Xiaoyan nodded and entered with Zuner. Xiaoyan's soul power faintly felt a good terrifying energy below. The level of that energy was definitely 8. The Xingdushan level is even comparable to Zuner. Zuner was in front and Xiaoyan was behind. Xiaoyan's eyes looked around at all times with vigilance. In addition to the protection of the formation around the mountaintop and the countless vibrant auras, Xiaoyan decided that this place was probably a treasure. Xiaoyan suppressed his breath, and even his breathing became extremely light, and his footsteps slowly walked towards the secret passage below. The passage below the bronze statue is clearly like a vast cave. The cave is covered with dust and weeds. Obviously, there are traces covered by many years. However, Xiaoyan can also conclude that the things below will be preserved. Very complete. What a weird place. There are some strong life breaths all around, and even some of the weeds here are extraordinarily fat. I am afraid that after absorbing some years, they will all transform into congregational spirits. The two followed the medicine stone and returned to the cave everywhere. After the ramps, a small valley with a fairly wide area appeared in front of the two of them. In the center of the cave, this is a rare small valley. The valley is like a layer of cumulus clouds, surrounded by lush trees and weeds that reveal a strange atmosphere, and above the cumulus clouds in the valley, a group of gray light flickered slightly, and every flickering of it would bring an extremely majestic vitality. It seemed that it was the treasure here. Stop, there is definitely something weird here. Just after entering here, Xiaoyan noticed that the temperature around him had suddenly dropped, and immediately a wave of awe-inspiring fluctuations filled his heart, and he couldn't help roaring at Yaoshigui. Giggle giggle, but facing Xiaoyan's roar, Yaoshigui seemed to have lost his mind, ignoring the dangers and hidden dangers hidden here, and went straight to the gray light on the cumulus clouds in the valley. Brother Xiaoyan. Zuner rolled her eyes, naturally aware of the strangeness here. Protect him. Xiaoyan's body was as fast as a ghost. The void around him suddenly split open, and his body was submerged in it. When Du appeared, he had already come to Yaoshigui's side, stunned him and brought him back. Da. It seemed that the actions of Xiaoyan and Yaoshigui had just disturbed some terrifying creature, and the roars of eerie monsters filled the entire valley. At that time, in the entire valley, countless trees, weeds, and even the soil will quietly crawl down. They seem to be welcoming some kind of terrifying creature's revival, and the entire valley will suddenly become dark, and you can't see your fingers. Come on, get out of here. Feeling the strong wind, Xiaoyan turned his head and roared at Zuner. Before clarifying the matter, don't make extra troubles. All roads are blocked, it will take a minute to crack. Zuner said with a vigilant look. It seems that this is a test. Xiaoyan shook his head slightly when he heard the words. His entire body became brighter, and the amber flame slowly rose, illuminating the entire dark valley. On the edge of the circular cumulus cloud in the center of the valley, a silver creature with a body size of dozens of meters was majestic and majestic. The huge beast's eyes contained a touch of contempt and bloodthirsty intent to stare at them, making them shocked. www. Link to novelmtl.com. The hairs all over the body stand up involuntarily, as if facing the enemy. It was a magical beast, a creature with extremely thick silver hair. It exuded a tyrannical oppression and a sense of strength. Its heavy breathing even carried a trace of dust, deep-colored beast eyes, and silver hair. Looking at its body, it looks exactly like a human being. With healthy limbs, hands, feet, eyes and nose, if it weren't for the silver hair all over his body, it would be extremely difficult to tell the difference from humans. This is the Titan among the three Titans? Xiaoyan said, looking at the creature in front of him, and said with great surprise. Even just relying on the thick aura emanating from this guy, Xiaoyan clearly sensed a titanic mammoth that was not inferior to the Titan mammoth he encountered in the previous assessment of the alchemist. In the Yao clan, he encountered the Titan Mammoth and the Titan Giant 2 times in succession. Xiaoyan did not believe that this was accidental. Obviously, the appearance of these 2 giants may have some subtleties with the Yao clan. Relation. A crazy thought lingered in Xiaoyan's mind. For example, for some shady conspiracy, the Yao family raised or cultivated Titan Mammoths and Titan Giants in the shadows of Yunling Mountains. Genius remembers the address of this site in 1 second. Mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2049. Titan Giant? No, this is probably a giant titan who is still in its infancy. Hearing Xiaoyan's voice, Zuner also raised her beautiful eyes and looked at the terrifying big guy in front of her. She couldn't help but muttered. The 3 overlords of the Titan family, the Emperor Titan, the Titan Giant, and the Titan Mammoth, are the representatives of the power of the world of Warcraft, and they are like real giants. Even if this guy is only in his infancy now, I am afraid it is extremely difficult to deal with. After all, the Titan Giant is known for its strength. 1 punch and 1 kick is enough to shatter mountains and the earth, and has the terrifying power of destroying the world. This guy is more powerful than Titan. Mammoths are more powerful, Xiaoyan said suspiciously. Ho ho ho. The giant titan violently bombarded his chest with both hands, and a deafening roar filled with countless sound waves attacked Xiaoyan and the 2. Brother Xiaoyan, wait, it doesn't seem to be malicious? Just when Xiaoyan was about to start, Zuner couldn't help but speak out. With the power of the reincarnation seal, Zuner has a more thorough sense of the mood changes of the titans. It seems that its target is this young man in his hands? What's the matter? Xiaoyan wondered in his heart, and before he could make any move, he suddenly saw a giant titan rushing towards him in the distance. In addition to the thick silver hair on his arms, there are asterisk and beautiful giant rock lines. Those lines are like the most perfect masterpieces of the gods. However, Xiaoyan knows that the natural power of the Titan Giant is probably closely related to this kind of lines. Who? The Titan Giant just came to Xiaoyan and bypassed Xiaoyan. Obviously Xiaoyan also gave it a dangerous aura, and immediately squatted down with his feet bent, his huge fingers stretched out to face Zuner behind him. The medicine stone goes back to the point. What's the situation? Xiaoyan was at a loss when he saw this. The things here are probably related to him. Brother Xiaoyan, look. At this time, Zuner looked at Xiaoyan innocently, waiting for Xiaoyan's actions. Give it to it. Xiaoyan nodded, but the whole body's strength was ready to be released at any time. Once the Titan Giant had any wrongdoing, he would immediately take action. Wang Om! Zuner used her holy flame to slowly drag the unconscious medicine stone back, and then quietly landed on the palm of the giant titan. Boom! As soon as the giant titan returned from catching the medicine stone, his whole body shook with excitement, the ground shook, and the entire valley trembled. Zhu! After a short while, Yaoshigui Zhou's clothes shattered directly, and faint blood-colored lines slowly emerged. Is this the divine power pattern of the Titans? How can this medicine stone have the divine power lines of the Titans? This kind of pattern is the representative of the power of the Titan. At this time, Xiaoyan couldn't help but envied. The representative of the power of the Titan, this mysterious pattern undoubtedly occupies an extremely important part. According to Xiaoyan's guess, at least it is at the level that can be used as the first transformation of his own dragon god. Dong, dong, dong. The Titan Giant in its infancy was cheering, and there were also mysterious patterns on its body, which were perfectly integrated with the power of Yaoshigui. Squeak. After a while, a bolt of lightning-like energy was injected into the medicine stone and returned to the body. Suddenly, the Titan's body trembled slightly, and in the blink of an eye, its body disintegrated, turned into pieces of rock that fell off, and crawls quietly in this valley. That feeling is not that the Titans have fallen, but that they remain here in a very special way. Seeing this, Zuner, who has always been well informed, was also puzzled. According to ancient books, this should be the method of evolution of the Titans. Titan giants are powered by mountains, rivers, rocks, and rivers, and their evolution is naturally different. Perhaps soon, this young guy will enter adulthood, and its strength will skyrocket from today's 7-star fighting immortal to the real 8 stars. List. If it is expected to evolve into the legendary golden-wheeled Titan Giant, I'm afraid that kind of power is comparable to the reincarnation of human beings. Xiao Yan rubbed Zuner's little head and said with a doting face, "Are you all right?" With the disappearance of the giant titan, Yaoshigui twisted around, the brilliance on his body gradually disappeared, and there were faint signs of awakening. Xiao Yan rushed into the air and rescued him. "Big brother, I'm fine. Just now I remember that there seems to be a big guy." Yaoshigui tried to recall. "That's the titan. It should have a lot of connections with you." Xiao Yan didn't hide it, he said directly. "Above, there are some treasures for you. The big guy just gave me some precious things. It can slowly open the power in my body. I may have to retreat here." Yaoshigui said in a particularly solemn voice. "Since you're going to retreat, why don't I give you a good thing?" "Well, this thing is for you." Xiao Yan gently took out the Fengzi Yaoden he had refined, and immediately handed the medicine stone to Gui. "This is the Fengzi Yaoden at the pinnacle of the 6th grade heavenly rank? Big brother, this thing is too precious, I can't take it." Yaoshigui looked in his eyes and hurriedly declined. Although he was not an alchemist, but because he had been in the medicine family for a long time, he naturally knew the value of this level of medicine. "Is not measurable by money. You and I are destined, so I gave it to you. If you think it's so inappropriate, then if I have any difficulties in the future, just help me back." Xiao Yan smiled casually. Obviously such a precious medicinal pill in the eyes of ordinary people is not worth mentioning in his eyes. "Well, thank you, big brother." At this moment, a warm current slowly emerged in Yaoshigui's heart. Just now, relying on this medicine pill and the things just given by the giant titan, he was able to completely crack the secrets in his body. "I have retreated. As a return gift, the cloud-gray light cluster above the valley will be given to my big brother." After Yaoshigui finished speaking, a layer of silver rocks slowly emerged around his body, and soon he was about to transform his body and the rocks below the giant titan. Linked together, it is obvious that he has entered a deep retreat, but with such a terrifying help, I am afraid that the next time he leaves the retreat, this guy's body will undergo a qualitative leap. What exactly is in this place? After settling down, Xiao Yan and Zuner joined hands and walked towards the gray light above the cumulus clouds. The two just came to the top of the cumulus cloud beside the gray light, and a wave of depression passed out. Among them, the dragon *** in Xiao Yan's body suddenly boiled, and it seemed that the thing in front of him had a fatal attraction to it. This is an ancient dragon origin blood crystal? After the blink of an eye, with the release of Xiao Yan's soul power, when the perception feedback came back, in the hazy light mass, a breath as vast as a sea-like abyss, slowly paving the way. Genius remembers the address of this site in 1 second. Mobile version reading website.